64 of Aaron Giheb, rounding out our final drivers of the field here today. That is your starting lineup here as race fans. We are now getting ready to settle on down on the track and get ready for tonight's showcase here in this early morning special. Should be a doozy one here. I hope the stream is doing okay here. I'm currently having a little bit of a lag switch on my end, it looks like, at least on my feed. But I'm not seeing anything drop frames or anything on the stream side, so I think we're okay. Gonna pull the field right around here, race fans, as everyone gets into place and ready for today's action. Field ready to march their way down across the track here and down into perspective here. This should be a doozy here, folks. 2 miles in length here. Of course, this track's certainly not going to be one to mess around with here. As we take a look at our Track Tech Talk presented by the Dead Man's Hit List. This place, again, is going to be very difficult on the drivers. You're going to be looking for drivers early on to be trying to find some momentum, trying to find some pacing throughout. Look for the drivers, in my opinion, though, to really be pushing the inside and the outside lanes. The middle groove may come in later, but I think, honestly, you're going to see a lot more drivers going to the extreme bottom or running towards the top. Temperature at 103 degrees out on the track. 81 degrees Fahrenheit here. Down on the local ends here of Brooklyn, Michigan. As the field now prepares themselves for battle. Everybody's now getting ready to lock and load here, race fans. It's time to get down to it. Time to get down to business here in Brooklyn, Michigan. Michigan International Speedway hosting Citadel Next Gens. Now to the green. Here we go. Still getting used to our voice module here and still getting used to the setup we have on hand. Again, I will get a better microphone eventually, but so far seems to be doing its job at least, so that's all I really care about. And speaking of doing its job right out of the gate, Burnaby having some company on that doorstep. Again, I was talking about earlier, some drivers are going to go towards the outside, some are going to go towards the inside lane, and right now it is Bounty and Burnaby choosing two different lanes here as the yellow flag is out on the track. Here we got a problem down on the circuit. Yellow out on the track. Not sure what exactly transpired there that caused the yellow to come out. We'll take a look at it. See if we get a good look in the background here. Looks like Reese Kelva did not get all of the track early, and I think that was a misfire. Not seeing anything else that could have happened here, so it looks like, yeah, that was just a caution they threw out to get Kelva back in place here. It looked like the officials were a little too early on the ball there. Well, time to take a listen in, race fans, with our drivers lineup here today. Let's see who is in the house today to have a little fun with us. We'll talk real quick with our race leader here out of the gate here, Malcolm Burnaby. Burnaby, you got a copy down there. Or Burnaby,
sir,
excuse me.
10-4, gotcha.
All right. I swear I'm not trying to mess that name up. It's Burnaby, right?
Burnaby, yeah. You
Burnaby. Okay, all right. Well, Burnaby, right now, got the early lead out the gate, of course, here. And having the old bounty hunter right behind you, too. I got to believe kind of keeping you on your edge, on your toes here, considering how tough things can get right out of the gate here, huh?
Yeah, obviously Sean's fast anywhere, but it's all about clean air in these cars, and that was the goal, was to just try to stay ahead of them. It's going to be a fight for the high line all day, as that's the fastest way around. So, yeah, we'll just have to see how it all pans out. But goal basically is to stay in front of them.
I wanted to ask about that too. Why is it that to the regular viewers out there, why is it the high line is the fastest way around when you could just be trying to go to the bottom and cut down the track there?
Yeah, so maybe I should clarify that. So on your out lap, on the green flag, the bottom's going to be the fastest, but once you're up to speed, the run you get down the straightaway from the high side is what makes it faster. So even though it's a longer way around, you carry a lot more speed.
All right, great intel there, and appreciate you letting the fans and viewers know at home how that works. Thank you, Burnaby, and good luck there on the rest of this race here, Malcolm.
Thank you, sir.
Malcolm Burnaby, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to get back down to it here, as he'll have to deal with Bounty there up on the outside charge. Jackson Wilson has joined us in. Number 44 is going to win. Oh, Jackson, I'll get 44 in as soon as I can. Don't worry. I'll make sure Alex Wilson has a little chat with us here, so barring anything crazy doesn't happen to him. I can only pull in so many drivers at a time, though, before they're about ready to go green, though. So if it goes long stint green, I'll chat with them, but as long as they're not fighting with anybody down there. Coming off turn number 4 and ready to hit the ropes once more here. We're about to lay them down on the track here as the green flag flies right back out on the circuit. It's time to go racing again. Burnaby is going to lead him down here. Bounty, Shoemaker, Cassad, Jasperson, your top 5. 3 wide, coming in through turn number 1 and 2. Shoemaker. You may have joined us last time out, joined us here on the call as well. He's driving the Superflow Motor Oil today. Looking to try and get himself into a top bracket spot once more. The motionless militia of the 18 of Christopher Cassad right now, trying to get there to Dillard Jasperson in that number 26 Havoline. It's got to be really pressurized here, just knowing that, again, that dirty airflow is something they're going to have to watch out for. They're going to need to keep their pace up, keep their momentum up. Like, as a driver, it's really frustrating to not be able to see what's in front of you that's slowing you down versus what basically everyone else knows is there. But again, as a driver, you have to put that in your back of your head and find different lines, find different ways to make the move. But because of how hard it is to pass, a lot of drivers are truly going to go to that outside lane, try to use that to their advantage. I do wonder, though, as longer and longer the time goes, how much will the wear and tear of the tires play a role in this race? Because, again, that is going to be a very key factor here in the long stint. Down to the inside lane, trying to make a run off it. Alex Wilson throwing Cassad a little bit of a haymaker throw, trying to maybe get him to make a mistake or catch him off guard. Doesn't quite resoundingly do what he wanted it to. Meanwhile, Jasperson continuing to march down to the bottom, getting into the grooves and getting in some momentum. He's trying to make a charge up on Shoemaker. Looking for the slide job. Down to the bottom now, trying to shoot back out of top. Shoemaker a little too heavy on the head there. Got a little too crazy and whiffed it up in the turn. And here comes Alex Wilson down the bottom lane here. The number 44, big charge coming from him. It was just like I said earlier, folks. Again, these drivers are going to be looking for a lot of openings, a lot of areas to make moves and make passes. But again, the longer the stint goes, the tougher it becomes and the tougher it gets. Watch for the drivers late into this race here to be having to figure out when the proper time is to get tires, when the proper time is to make their move and their charge. And hopefully they don't end up on the dirty air receiving end here. Well, there is a little search station there. You heard Malcolm. He actually shifted down into 4th there from the turn. He got back into 5th there going down the straight, and he's in 4th right now. Listen to his throttle and then watch that. What's that clutch? Man, it's so weird for me to hear like a next-gen Cup car, or excuse me, not next-gen, but a NASCAR Cup car in general, just shifting down from a gear to get a faster run on an oval, no less. But that's just how they kind of set this car up and how they made this car work. To each their own, I guess. We're going on board here with Nicholas Driver here. Driver of the 17 Fireball machine. Let's see if he goes into 4th, if he stays in 5th. Looks like opting to stay in the 5th gear. And again, there's 2 ways to work around it. Either you stay in 5th or you go into 4th to end up increasing your rotation of the car and speed. The more RPMs you can throw off of that thing, the harder the engine will speed back to life. And keeping momentum very crucial and clear. Bounty right now, I gotta believe, probably just taking his time, pacing himself a little bit, but he knows with drivers coming up on him quickly, he can't give too much room up here, especially with how tough Malcolm's going to be as the bounty hunter right now with company back on the doorstep. Jasperson, Shoemaker looking to throw some haymakers. And it looked like he threw one right back at him. Shoemaker probably not too happy about that move right there. Probably got a little bit clipped up in the run more than he wanted to and lost a lot of speed. Mr. Space Jam has joined us here today. They say, let's go 1 and 22. Thank you for tuning on in today. I know I said this quite a few times already, but I hope the microphone sounds okay and the volume of the cars isn't too loud. I've been trying to find a balance where you hear just enough of the cars, but you hear enough of my microphone too. So I hope I finally am starting to balance this thing out here. Josh Hayes right now, the number 12 in the Hayes Haas Racing Chevrolet, trying to make something work here. Behind it with the number 4, Reese Kelva. And that Douglas Propane machine right now doing everything he can to kind of make a move and a bit of a stint on there. Looking to the bottom, though, up to the race lead. Battle off the gens. The number 1, Malcolm Burnaby, doing everything he can to hold off Bounty and hold off Jasperson. But Jasperson, man, my word, he's making some runs here. Now needs to stay focused and stay centered on the run. But again, Bounty with that dirty air there in front of him, kind of really have to find another run. You're not going to get much off that Rebel Racing 34. There's one thing I've known with Bounty is that, again, he's extremely patient. If he sees a long stint, he's patient. He's very cautious and very optimistic, but when he turns on the burners, well, let's just say I don't want to be you right there, and then I would know this. I've been in his shoes before. And I'm going to go on board here with Christopher Cassad right now here as he's battling hard there with Jasperson, trying to get ahead further of Wilson and Shoemaker. Right there, you see right there, he switched it from 4th to 5th. Again, that's to try to get the car to take a little bit of a better set, trying to rotate the car around and get there. Just trying to nail every little piece, every little spot here. It sounds like my car sounds maybe a little quiet. I'm sure it's a tough balance. So, oh yeah, Mr. Space Jam, trust me it is. I upped the volume. We'll see how that works. Okay, let me know now. Does that sound a little bit better? Again, I hate having to ask on stream, but again, the only way I'm going to get this right is make sure the fans like it and make sure it sounds good. That's the biggest thing. And speaking of sounding good again, balance off the bottom, back to the top. Bounty, he really wants Burnaby's lead, man. He's looking for him. He just can't get around him. That's just the only problem he's got right now. He's got momentum. He's got speed. The problem for him right now is he's just not catching a break because, again, he's having a hard time trying to get that run off and not crash himself or the other driver in front of him. But at the same time, he's got such a big problem with those tire wears down there that he knows it's extremely crucial here. He's going to try it anyway, though. Back down on the bottom. Right up to the mix to the top. Slowly but surely, Burnaby just making that outside lane get serious speed off the grip. And again, you heard him say earlier that, again, running the apex of that corner, run off the exit of that run, he finds more momentum and more down control that keeps everybody in line and in play. And that's what makes it so much harder to run it from the bottom. On the bottom, it's like this. Here's the best way I can explain it. You get faster going down the inside than someone on the outside. But when you're going off the exit of the outside, as long as you timed it right, you have more speed to really hammer back down into. So it's really a counterbalance. You have to choose a lane. Go to the bottom or go to the top. In dirt track racing, it's the same situation because, again, you're burning up tires a lot harder depending on the track. And also, you got to worry about the fact that track's even smooth or not. That's how tough it is right now. Just to keep things in check and in line as we go on board here with Hayes. I like how they carry their speed through the corners. I like how they carry through their runs here. Up on the front again. I know I keep jumping up there, but again, you got to watch that battle. Burnaby and Bounty still at one another's throats here. Right beside him, though, is another side-by-side situation. Shoemaker and Cassad now going at it. I go where the action is hot. I go where the action is fast. Bounty right now trying to side draft off the one. He's looking for the slide job, going to the very bottom. Can the Rebel Racing 34 finally clear him off? The one beat Burnaby, though. He nails the middle groove, forcing Bounty to have to rethink that strategy. Side by side. Oh, mama, we got some love taps in the side skirts tonight. A simple little love tap never hurts. Yeah, he gave him a good little love tap there. And right now, Bounty realizes he might have a shot here. Looking off the exit and through the corner. But again, Burnaby just continues to manhandle the outside lane. Bounty realizes he's got no groove. He's got nothing up there. He's trying and he's fighting, but he just doesn't have it. It won't work. I don't think it's going to stop him, though. Back on board here, Jasperson right now. And yep, you can see the 34 lost his ground, lost his time. And again, now Malcolm Burnaby here. A great move off from the one. He's trying to get the draft away from the 34. You may have noticed he went down to the very bottom there and then swung it back to the top to set up the corner. Again, it's a risky move, but at the same time, it's an old IndyCar Formula One style-esque move. Go to the bottom or go to the outside, wherever the driver behind you isn't, and get that draft away from them so they can't clear the gap and clear the area. If they have room to move, they will have room to take. And speaking of taking right now, here comes Shoemaker. Oh, man, Jonathan, honestly, much to having in the booth here, buddy. But, man, you certainly are nailing down on the track here. He's having a good little run off here and a great little tussle with the field around him as they work into the back half right now. We are 1/5 of the way done with this one. Mike Cataldo, I'm sorry if I'm saying your last name wrong, but I think it's Cataldo, says, let's go, Chavez. Well, Chavez right now in that number 14, he's not doing too bad down there. I guess I should throw a little bit of some love to the back stack here as they're trying to make their way to the front stack. He's got right now a little hustle here with Aaron Geheb as well as the number 21, Levi Casey. As those guys right now go at it with one another here. I hate to jump back and forth so much, but again, it's just, you just can't stop this guy. He just won't stop. The old bounty hunter is making this dead man look like a lying little son of a gun because he just can't seem to hold back his words and hold back the drive. He's trying to put the Baldur's Gate number 1 behind him, but the Rebel Racing machine just can't get around him. Oh! Little slide slap on the wall, though. That might have been enough for Bounty to catch something on Malcolm. He got slowed up on turn number 4 there. You see, though, Bounty having a little bit extra speed. Can he now clear the gap? He's looking to the bottom. Try to hold on and get everything he's got right now. Knows he can't give an inch. Side by side, both drivers absolutely wheeling and dealing. But it's Burnaby once more who holds off the draft. Oh my goodness, what on earth must be going through the back of these two drivers' minds? Look at the battle going on right behind him as well. You got Wilson and Hayes having a little tussle down there, while the leaders are just going full on, full center, no limits, no nothing. Just put the big boot into the ground and make sure you left your footprint right where it sticks. And that's exactly what these guys are doing right now. Representatives in this field, though, here you got drivers from New Zealand, Australia, you have the United States here. You, of course, also have the Isle of Man representing this one, and some drivers from Japan representing in this race. If you're probably wondering at home, how in the heck do we have some drivers from Japan racing today? Well, some of them basically are actually deployed down there. So not only are they doing their country right, they're also doing their service down there. As I go on board here with Levi Casey here, the number 21, trying to get up there to Gabe Chavez. And again, you can see Chavez running a much similar line to what Bounty was running a little earlier on there. Whereas Levi going towards the outside middle in the groove. The big issue with running that outside lane again is there's so much power and speed delivered there. You basically got to holster the thing down, man down the hatches, and hope that it works out in your favor and not get yourself into a mix-up. Oh, especially like that right there, my friends. That's 70 at Ryan Hinchcliffe. Oh, Lord. Hard to say where that one was going. All I know is Giheb probably not too happy. And he's losing a lot more time right now as he just gave up even more positions. Luke Dietz there, the number 84 you see, making his way around. As well as now, the number 22 of Joe Jacon, trying not to be in dead last with 8-bit racing. You're looking for some kind of speed or some momentum down there and see what he can do. Hasn't quite cleared it yet. We'll look back up to the front here now as the back stack tries to get to that front stack. That front stack's not giving him an inch here. These cars may be as clear cut as they can be towards a spec car. But if there's one thing I've said before, it doesn't matter if it's a spec car or a true on full racing car. The best still find a way to make it work. Field marching their way around right now. Meanwhile, the back stack trying to get to the front half. Giheb and Jacon there just caught a little bit of a glimpse there, having a little quick little hustle and battle. Neither driver gave an inch to the other, but it ended up going more towards Giheb there for the brief fleeting moment we saw. Meanwhile, look up to the front. You got a 3 wide salute to turn number 3. That caught me off guard, if you couldn't tell. I don't know how that started, but it looked like it might come again here. Wilson, Shoemaker, and Hayes. Oh, mama, we got a battle. Oh, I love a good battle when I see it, and I love a good hard racing day when it comes to be. Lap number 29, head for lap number 30, coming up right through here. Wilson, Hayes, Shoemaker, charging amongst each other. Wilson to the bottom, needs to get back in that draft or he's got to hit it hard on that bottom lane going into the quarter. You know, the track actually flattens out a little bit more on that back straightaway, and actually running up closer to that wall is actually a much better angle in this case for what the drivers need and what they need to be producing here. That's why you see a lot of guys heading up closer to that wall protection off the back stretch and the front straightaway versus what they're doing on these kind of lanes, these kind of openings. When it flattens out, the flatter the track is, the more speed you can carry through. Oh! And Shoemaker right into the wall protection on turn number 2 there. Almost caught himself in a huge situation. Might have overdrove it a bit there to say the least, but nevertheless Shoemaker with a nasty little hit off the wall. Take a look to the Speed Zone TV Instant Replay brought to you in part by Deadman's Hit List. Wow, look at how close he got there to Wilson. Wilson presses the mind back down, got to the inside. Cassad managing to get away from him too. But that was a gnarly little hit there. Unfortunately, that 15 just took. Oh, my word, race fans. And now as they work their way down through the back half again, everybody just now trying to regain their bearings and probably get themselves squared up. Here comes Nicholas Schreiber, no relation to my last name. I swear I checked, but there is no Schreiber households that we are aware of from my home here in Iowa to where he lives. I'm not going to say where he's from. But speaking of new households, Burnaby and Hayes, they are the first to enter into pit road, which means Bounty for the first time today going to be your new leader. As you see him get a further and further gap ahead there of Dylan Jasperson. It's been a solid race so far. The number 1 of the 22 right now, definitely in a very precarious situation here for Mr. Space Jam, but nevertheless, they seem to have kind of nailed down their corners and nailed down their runs here. Christopher Cassad staying out. Jasperson, Wilson, Shriver, Shoemaker, Kelva, Chavez in pit road. Casey, Dietz, and all of them in. And out of pit road, here comes Malcolm Burnaby. Let's try and get a camera down there on the cars here. Oh, Jackson, that's not where we park it. I feel like that's been his biggest issue so far this season. It's been getting in and out of pit road. I think that's been a lot of drivers' problem, honestly. It's just they're not used to this kind of stops and goes. A lot of them are road course drivers, keep this in mind. So a lot of them really don't understand too quickly how to kind of push that thing down and get in and out of pit road like they should. Speaking of getting out of pit road right now, we're going on board here Burnaby as he's trying to hunt down Bounty. But Bounty seems to have found a little bit more momentum up than he got on Burnaby. Oh, Burnaby right now got to be feeling sick to his stomach knowing Bounty got ahead of him. And with an extra lap of fuel too. That's got to hurt a bit. Same with the tires. It's not over till it's over though, race fans. You can't count the drivers out. Nicholas Shriver now getting his lap back here ahead of Christopher Cassad. Just trying to get around him and just trying to get some time on the pole. Levi Casey now exiting out of pit road. Everybody right now making their way in and out of pit road quickly. Jonathan Shoemaker, though, looks like he is still in pit road. Not sure what went wrong down there for the number 15. Yeah, it looks like he is currently stuck down there getting some massive damage cleaned up. If he can make it back out there, that'd be great. But if he can't, well, you know what we're going to do. We're going to go annoy him and bring him in the booth here with us. And I don't just mean, like, chat for a few seconds. No, he'll be in the booth with us. Though, personally, we'd love to see him race out there if he can. Cassad now into pit road, which means Joe Jacon is now staying out of the run here. I hope I'm saying his last name right. Mr. Space Jam, is it Jacon or is it Jackon or something like that? I need to know. If I'm saying it right, please let me know. If I was saying it wrong and it was supposed to be the second way then, or another way, let me know, please. There's one thing I've always said here on the broadcast. Do not come at me with pitchforks and torches, please. If I say the name wrong, feel free to grab your favorite tool from the pots and pans list and whack me upside the head with it. But please don't come at me with pitchforks and torches. Just tell me how to say the name right. So Joe Jacon right now leading us down here with Bounty, Burnaby, Hayes, and Jaspin, your top 5. Let's take a look now at the time delta sheets because I want to see where Bounty is versus Burnaby in this case. Yeah, Burnaby and Bounty definitely getting some speed up on the track, but there's a problem for Burnaby again. So far back in the distance. He's trying desperately to catch Bounty, but at the same time probably using up a lot of those tires, a lot of that fuel. That cannot bode well for him and his team. Joe's going into pit road, the 22 now in. Mr. Space Jam says it's Chacon. So not Jacon, Chacon. Okay. Alright, I will do my best to remember that. And Joe, from the 8-Bit Racing number 22, I apologize. Hey, pretty good little pit stop though for him there. Let's show him a little love. Got to show Chacon a little love there. He did a good job getting in. Field right now just currently trying to get themselves back in the paces and back into the distance here. There are some battles starting to rage on though as Chavez and Cassad right now have a little bit of a tussle on their hands. Again, you're looking down on the red, that is time lost, whereas time gained is the green. And you can see right now that Chavez here having a good look at Wilson here, maybe making a run for it off there and trying to get something on there if you can, but Cassad is not giving up. Matter of fact, he's going to the inside. Big run on the Logitech 14, the Militia boys. Going full metal Militia because they put the pedal down to the metal. Nailed it. Mr. Space Stamp says, I'm just glad our fearless leader made it. The number 33 Mitchell here could make a time slot today. Sadly, work got in the way. I feel that. Well, we do. Well, we'll hopefully see you out there next time out there, Mitchell. We do miss you and love seeing you when you were out there racing with the boys. Now, Wilson in the way here for Cassad here as he's looking to try to get some momentum up. Mike saying, hold him off, Shavy. That's a lot of work to be done here. Chavez definitely got his work cut out for him because Reese Kelvin's right there behind him as they currently work their way through the field. Mr. Space Jam says, don't count Money Malcolm out yet. I've seen him win from way worse positions. Oh, I'm not counting out old Burnaby down there. I was not going to count him out to begin with. I was just saying, like, the situation he's in right now, and you heard him say earlier, he needed to stay ahead of Bounty, especially with that dirty airflow. This is a very tough predicament he's in right now. Because, again, let's take a look now at the track time Delta sheets. Presented part this time around by Lightning Wraps. And you can see pretty much right now what Burnaby's up against. Now, I am not saying for 1 second he can't get that ground back or catch him. But this late in the race, now pit strategy is going to be extremely crucial, and timing is going to be everything. He's going to need that. He's going to need a little bit of help too, in my opinion, from Bounty, because Bounty is not going to give him an inch here. But I can definitely say this. Money Malcolm certainly, yeah, he'll certainly find something. If he can dial it in, he'll find it. I know him well. Enough now, anyway. Coming up closely here. Wilson now finally finds some speed there on Cassad. Christopher right now gotta be just feeling that wind tunnel pushing up against him as Alex Wilson is full bore center speeds up ahead. Field still in a very hot debate right now. Currently trying to find as many drivers as we can here, battling for position. Nicholas Shriver watching on as Joshua Hayes and Dylan Jasperson going out of here, but it's Cassad and Wilson definitely having a little showboat position of themselves here. See if I can try and give you a good look at both battles right now here from the blimp cam. There we go. And you can see again, Jasperson not able to make that runoff on Hayes there like he wanted to. Wilson staying towards the extreme bottom lane now, starting to close off Cassad's gap. Notice though something right there, race fans. Cassad, notice how he was going towards the bottom. Oh! And makes contact right off of turn number 1 and 2. Oh, Lord. You may be wondering at home, why am I getting excited for them to bash around each other at this kind of track when these things are built with fenders and bumpers? I like to remind you guys at home that running these iRacing cars, it doesn't feel quite the same as running on the real world stage. But I'd like to also say, that's about 200 miles per hour they're hitting each other at. Yeah, try doing that in real life at the same time. Try doing that in iRacing when you got a wheelbase that's going to shake you around and throw you for a loop. That kind of hit, that kind of spot right there will literally make your whole brain go numb and make your body stiffen up more than a $2 steak from the grocery store. Yikes, man, that is some serious collision course there that both drivers just made. Wilson and Christopher still just at each other's throats here. And again, I love what I'm seeing. This is a great battle back and forth. This is what I call the switchblade of racing, which it basically switches in, switches out, switches in, switches out. And it looks like Wilson had the sharper end of the blade and put it right into the heart of the 18 of Christopher Cassad, making that move right off into the distance. He takes full control. Meanwhile, up ahead, Hayes and Jasperson now having a little muscle it out situation. Something I kind of know too with Malcolm Burnaby and Sean Bounty again. Now, earlier on I said Malcolm wasn't really getting any speed on Bounty. He still hasn't quite gained any extra traction, but he is still only 4 seconds back. So he is consistent on his run here and consistently taking what he can precautions-wise, but he just isn't building up the major amount of speed he needs. However, again, I'd like to remind you at home, if Bounty goes into pit road before Malcolm, and Malcolm can catch Bounty off guard, he'll take full control of that pit stop there in that cycle. I feel kind of bad, though. I promised I'd get the number 484 and some of the other drivers into the booth to chat with us tonight, but I haven't really been able to get a chance to because, well, these guys keep going back and forth to each other. However, I will say this. If all goes right, goes well, and we don't have another caution, try to bring any other drivers, I will interview, instead of the top 3 tonight, I will interview the top 5. That is my promise. And I will make sure the drivers know that we're going to interview top 5 at the end of it. So I will make it clear. Leading down the lanes here, we got 2 battles going. We now have 3 battles, excuse me. It was 2, now it's 3. Wilson and Cassad and Kelva and Chavez. And I think it's been our first good look here at Kelva. So let's take a look on the onboard camera. Kelva, again, earlier on, had a little bit of a problem getting out of pit road. The officials switching him up and basically delaying the race so they can get him out there. And ever since then, now it's pretty much been just who can take full control of that mistake. It's been clean, hard racing though throughout as we are now past halfway done. It's been impressive though, in my opinion, honestly. It's been solid racing, solid performances. And in my opinion, nobody has really taken the full reins of this race in the mid-pack. The only drivers that have really taken full control, again, has just been only the 34 and the 1. And there's a little bit of a problem down there with that 21. Not sure what went wrong there, but he opted into the grassy plains down there. Not sure if that was just something on his end there trying to slow down or what happened. But we're going to the replay. If it's something I see, it's something I catch. You know what I got to do. Let's see right here. It looked like he just overdrove it a little bit and ended up getting a little too quick into the grass, maybe trying to slow him down a bit. That or he was trying to cool off his tires with the grass down there. Yeah, that is something some drivers will do. They'll go in the grass to cool down their tires. Mr. Space Jam says that we get a caution, go and get Malcolm in the booth for his feedback. I already talked to Malcolm for beginning this race here, Mr. Space Jam. He was my first interview of the day, and so far it's my only interview I've had today. He basically said that as flat out. He had to keep Bounty behind him at all times and try to keep that dirty airflow on him. He did a great job on the stint before he ended up finding himself in pit cycle territory. And his pit cycle was just not on time the way that he was hoping for, and Bounty took control of it. Let's take a look, though, now at the time delta gap sheet again. And I'm seeing some good news there for Burnaby, but the problem is that last lap was not so much the same situation. Trying to dial it in right now, trying to get some speed clipped up on the track and get some momentum going through, but he's just not getting it now. He's losing even more time. That's a full second he lost there. Yeah. That's not good. Or no, excuse me, that was a tenth of a second. Excuse me, not a second. You see, again, just kind of looking at the times, the gaps, the delta. I mean, like I said, I'm not counting Burnaby out. I'm far from that. But I'm just saying, this guy, they said at the beginning of the season, this was the guy everybody wanted to beat and take down. And they knew if you're going to get a win, you're going to have to basically scrape and scratch it a lot from that 34 machine. If I'm Burnaby right now, though, I'm thinking at this point, don't look for a caution. Hope that it stays green. Force Bounty, you'd have to go into pit road at some point, and then when he goes in, you go in right after if you have enough time. But the only difference, though, in my opinion, is that extra lap of fuel and that extra tire lap. Again, it may not seem trivial to some, but an extra tire lap in iRacing could mean literally life or death in this case in terms of a racing position. It's extremely difficult to nail these corners and nail that speed constantly. It's even harder when you're trying so desperately to stay close to other drivers and stay close in the runs. As we now go back on board here with Reese Kelva. I like what I'm seeing though here. Again, he's starting to keep his momentum up. Look at him just keep that draft up. Loses a little bit of ground there on the apex of that corner. That cost him a bit. Luke Diaz is in pit road. Joshua Hayes going to pit road. Shoemaker right now at the moment here. He was in pit road for quite a while. Looks like he's finally back out here. The Superfluid Motor Oil 15. Not exactly sure what happened there to him earlier on and what really kind of went wrong, but I think we could probably go have a little chat with him in a second here. Right now the 70 of Ryan Hinchcliffe holding on to the lap spot there for Joe Chacon. Chacon though in the 22 trying to build some momentum back into him. Mr. Space Jam says it matters for sure. I don't know how Bundy got so far out. Are you sure he didn't take 2 tires? I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I could see that. Hang on a minute. All right, so if you're curious what... both drivers went in on lap number 32, 31. Their pit cycle time is as follows. 40.23 for Bounty, 41.37 for Malcolm. And their pit time for both drivers in there, 10.93, 10.95. The only other driver that is currently like a second or more than a second or two ahead of that or behind that was the number 64 of Aaron Geheb at 16.25. So if I had to guess, both drivers took 2 tires or only took that one set and got out of there and basically ran away with it. Ooh, speaking of running away with it here, you got a 4-car battle going on here for the top 5 spot. Cassat holds on the 5th spot. That's Kelva. Oh, he's got a little bit of some dog in that bite. Yeah, one thing here, Mitchell, that I really love on this stuff is that I use for my software service is that, again, I have basically a way to see whether or not someone uses a push to pass, someone uses the RC buttons, so use a joker, where we have overtime, I have the pit times, the pit lane time, and then of course I also can see who is in the lead lap and who is not, and then also who's actually the best time out on the talk here, as well as their intervals between one another. I'll give you guys a good little glimpse there. What you're seeing on the top left of your screen there is now the best lap times that these drivers have laid down on the circuit. I want to highlight this real quick because this is interesting to see. The best time here was set at a 37.85. Who was the driver that did it? Nicholas Shriver. He said a 37.85. Now again, you got to factor in two things. Number one, he probably had a lot of draft and probably was using that to his advantage and used that to his gain. Number two, even though he set a quick time there and went pretty hard on the corners and into the turns, that also did a lot of damage towards his tire wear as well as that fuel run that he had. Now, if you look on the left side as well, notice how close Malcolm and Sean are. They're 30. Oh! Well done, Wilson. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. Hold on. Slam the wall. He's slipping. He's sliding. Oh, it's a yellow. Oh, no. Well, so much for explaining about the best gap situation, because now that best time just went right out the window. Let's take a look at the replay and figure out what the Hades happened here. That's an oh sweet honey iced tea moment if I ever saw one from the 44, but watch Kelva. Oh, Kelva basically came right up into him there. Drove a little hard. Again, you see the 44, he's trying to slow down, trying to back it down a bit. And as soon as he got tail whipped and slapped by the 44, again, that's what I was talking about earlier. When these drivers are smacking each other around like that, that kind of speed, there's only two ways it can go. Either right or wrong. And that, unfortunately, was the wrong situation. Right up here, again, right there. That's all Kelva. I mean, I'm not just trying to hold my words back. I think you guys know me by now. That's all Kelva. Wilson went right up there, tried to hold it down, and Kelva, again, I don't think he intentionally tried to get him, but it happened nevertheless. And I know I'm going to be breaking a promise here. I know I was going to try to chat with Wilson, but I think we need to give him a minute to cool down there. We'll go ahead now and bring in one of our drivers here to chat with us here. Dylan Jasperson on the call. Dylan, you got a copy down there?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, Dylan, bit of chaos there just ensuing as we're past halfway, and I don't think a lot of you guys were expecting that to happen. What do you have to do now to kind of fix the strategy up to try to play into your favor now?
Well, I was hoping to play off of pit stops, but that's not going to work out for me now.
Certainly will not, indeed. Really, with this pit stop here, is it going to be all fours and fuel, or what are we thinking?
All fours and fuel, and see if I can make it the rest.
All right, well, I didn't want to interrupt you too much there as you were heading into the pit stall, but nevertheless, good luck getting out, and hopefully it all works out in your favor, my good sir.
Thank you much.
How you doing, Dylan Jasperson, having a quick little chat with us here. We'll take it down now here, race fans, out of pit road. Here he comes, the number 14 Logitech machine of Gabe Chavez. Gabe, you got a copy down there, my good sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, Gabe, you had quite a few fans here, loyal followers down on the track here and in the comments section, and so far, you've been kind of consistent on how you take your approach to it. You qualified 11th, and you're currently in the 7th spot. Is there a way maybe you think you can get out of this mid-pack madness and find a way to get to the top stack?
I think so. Now that we're just clear of the pit, I took 2 tires on that first pit stop to try and get back in the pack. But now we're back up to full fuel load, 4 new tires. So I'm thinking at the end of this caution, there's a good chance we can make some moves here.
All right. One last thing. I just kind of want to ask you, with the way the track has been playing out, what was the difference in feel versus taking 2 tires versus running on all whole 4 sets here? Considering it seems like it went kind of more towards the middle and the outside groove.
Yeah, it wasn't too terrible. Like, I decided to take 2 when I noticed that, like, I wasn't really feeling too out of shape out there, and I thought We can take 2, get a few spots, and then keep going. Towards the end of the run, I was really I was really starting to get loose a little bit and had to focus, but it's sorry, pace car stuff. But it wasn't too terrible. So I think taking the 2 was a good move, and then excuse me, fellas, was a good move, and then we made it to the caution. So I'm thinking it kind of worked out. Let's see how it goes here.
Right on there. All right, well, Gabe, we appreciate your time down there. Best of luck as you get ready to fire him back up.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Gabe Chavez, ladies and gentlemen. All right, real
Get
quick.
a wave around.
Oh, sorry, Wilson. Didn't mean to drop you in there too soon.
Oh, nope, good.
All right, you got a second to talk real quick?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, Wilson, earlier on in the comments section, everybody really wanted to hear from you here, but I don't think they wanted to have to hear after that little terrible situation on turn 2. Are you okay inside that cockpit, and you're able to kind of refire and get back into the fight here?
Oh, yeah. I'm a lap down right now, but as long as I can get a caution or I can pass the leaders, I'll be back in it.
You're holding down the speeds pretty well there in that long stint. Do you think really you'll be able to kind of catch another chance here, maybe show these guys a thing or two here?
Oh, yeah. I feel like we got the car to win here. I'm pushing a little tight going into the turn, but I'm rotating real good, so I get a lot of my speed coming out of the turn.
For sure there. All right, well, we're about to send you back to the green. Good luck, good sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, I did what I could, race fans. Green flag back on out. It is showtime again here in Michigan. This is going to be an interesting situation now. Burnaby now has new life on Bounty, but will Bounty do the same thing he did to Burnaby there on that last stint? He knows now his advantage is gone, so now he's going to have to rely. Oh! I did not mean to give the broadcaster's curse. Ow! Oh, yellow out again. Oh my gosh. Oh. On lap 69 of all things. Oh my word. And Burnaby not a happy camper. I don't blame him. He's out of the cockpit. He's done. He's done. Oh, he overdrove it coming on turn number 2. Again, he was trying so hard to get all that speed dialed in and get something figured out, and just bashed the inside of that whole cockpit. That thing, oh my word, what a nasty hit. He went to the extreme bottom lane. The car just did not rotate. He overdrove it, and he knew as soon as it did that, it was game over. Oh, what's the hood flying right off? Look at that. Oh my word. Oh. Oh my gosh. Whoa, what the heck's happened to Fizz down there? What is going on down there? What in the Hades is going on? Okay, hold on a minute. Somebody give me my blimp cam up and running. What happened? Oh no. Oh. Nicholas Schreiber there losing control, slipped it up. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Again, I think Nicholas was trying to get out of the way of the rest of the field and everybody else. Oh, that is not by any stretch of the imagination what anybody wanted to do there, and that is certainly not what I know these guys know how to do. Oh my word. Well, I'm trying my best to kind of avoid talking to Bounty for a little bit, because you know he's already going to have quite a bit to say there when the time comes, and he already got something going. But let's take a listen now to Reese Kelva here. And Reese, right now, we got it on board here with us, sir.
What up, amigo?
All right, well, Reese, man, you've had an eventful day today. You've qualified in the second spot. You followed back early, and now you're back into the top 5 and maybe have a shot here to get up to that front stack one last time. Really, my biggest question for you is, how the heck have you been able to do it and keep this thing under control, considering how tough these guys have been doing here today?
Yeah, new sponsor, new car, Douglas Distributing, want to thank them. Hometown gas distributor here in Sherman, Texas. You know, we were fast in practice. Something happened there at the beginning. I couldn't grid. I don't know what it was, but we've been fighting hard. We burnt that first setup, trying to get back up here. So now we're just going to, like always, right, not wreck people. I think I did get into the back of Alex, so I want to apologize to him for that. Didn't mean to do that. So yeah, we're just gonna stay smooth, stay clean, and have some fun.
I did want to ask you about that too. I know obviously you and Alex kind of had a little meeting of the minds there. I know you apologize in this case, but I got to ask you, what was the situation there that got that car so tight getting off that exit and into him there?
Yeah, honestly, talent. Just being an iRacer, not a real racer. You know, I sent it in. I knew I could get the pass on him. I just sent it in too hard, man. I came out with too much throttle and couldn't keep it low.
Well, nevertheless, Reese, we do appreciate the honesty here and wish you the best of luck getting right back into it, good sir.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one. Adios.
You too. From Powerhouse Motorsports, ladies and gentlemen, the number 4, Reese Kelva. Well, I got time to talk with at least one more driver here real quick. Let's have a chat here with the driver, the number 70 here. Ryan, you got a copy down there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, we hear you. Well, this certainly been an interesting situation for you and your team here today, Ryan, is right now you try to go from being down under to being on the top of the top spots. I got to ask you, what is it going to take here on these last stints here to hopefully stay out of trouble and stay out of issues here?
For me, just try and drive, really.
Just try and drive, really. I'll ask too, with the way the circuit's been today, what lanes do you kind of like seem to take more in control of? Do you like the bottom or do you like going to the outside?
I've sort of just been trying a bit of everything. I think going from outside to inside works for me.
Got you there. All right. Well, Ryan, nevertheless here, best of luck here as you're ready to fire him up and set him on down again, sir.
Thank you very much. You do.
Yeah, you. Race fans, Ryan Hinchcliffe, the driver from Down Under. All right. Coming off through the front straightaway here. Right now I got word from Malcolm Burnaby down there that unfortunately a black flag was what resulted in his situation there. Not sure exactly how that ended up happening on his end there, but unfortunately that cost him dearly. See if maybe he wants to have a little chat with us here in a second. We'll see how he's doing inside the cockpit. I know he's obviously got to be a frustrated camper. Mitchell, Mr. Space Jam, said earlier on, 44 can't get any more room than that. Yeah, that was like I said, you heard those again from Kelva. He didn't intentionally try to do that at him like that. It just, unfortunately, the way the timing and the way the track laid out, that car will shoot up more towards the outside gap and kind of push more up in that lane. That gets very tricky sometimes. That gets very difficult to hang down to the lanes and down to the chute, especially how close things are here. Gabe Chavez right now looking on as Nicholas Shriver and Joshua Hayes have a little tussle of the muscle. Oh, the muscle's being put on here and the whiskey getting thrown around, certainly showing you what it's all about. Kelva and Jasperson, even they now have a little bit of a scruffle. It's not a kerfuffle yet, but we certainly don't want no brouhahas around here, that's for sure. And look at Chavez down the bottom lane there. Big run coming down on turn number 3. Shoots to the bottom. Gets itself back squared up there as Nicholas Shriver tries to get back in that gap and right there with him. But the damage on that front of that car might be a big problem here. Lanes down right now into the charge. Everybody looking for openings, looking for gas right now. Mitchell says, yes, sir, just been hard racing, man. We've all been number 4, been trying to fight for a spot. Oh, absolutely. Like, that's one thing I love is when I got drivers in the comment section, they understand, like, what I'm talking about, what I'm dealing with. Because to the average fan, the viewer, they look at it as like, okay, it was just them going over their paces and not realizing where they're at. No, sometimes there is literally mechanical issues, the steering valve breaks off, something goes wrong. Like, real racing happens all the time like this, and it's just a situation you don't ever want to find yourself in, but it certainly happens more often than not. And that's just something, as a driver, you know, in the back of your mind, you got to literally keep it there and understand it full-fledged. Side by side right now, Jasperson and Kelva here going at it right at the moment. Big duel off into the distance. Jasperson trying to keep Kelva at bay, but Kelva made his way down off the bottom chute, takes full control. I'm going to try and see if we got a quick chat here with the driver of the number 1. Malcolm, you got a copy down there?
I got you, man.
All right, Malcolm, I know obviously it was a bit disappointing here today here for you and your team here. Obviously, you drove a lot harder off through turn number 1 into 2. Can you explain what happened there and why the officials unfortunately threw the black flag at you there before you got to the start?
I think I know why it did. I just think it's kind of unfortunate. We were coming to the restart zone, and I heard, I don't know if it was Sean or somebody behind me that flipped the throttle, so I thought we were going, and I jumped it a little bit, but I let off to let Sean get back in front of me. Still gave me the black flag. So at that point, I don't know, it was a very boring race for me overall. Just even when me and Sean were together, it was just whoever had the high line, like I said earlier, is gonna win it, and looks like he is on his way to do that now. So yeah, just a little frustrated, overdrove it in turn 1 and wrecked the car. So no one to blame but myself, but yeah, a little frustrated with the black flag situation.
Yeah, I definitely can't blame you there from being a driver's perspective too, as well as, you know, a fan's perspective. I know a lot of people rooting you on today here. I guess there's really just 2 last things I'll ask. Well, the first thing is, of course, you know, had that black flag not come out, what would have been the main priority there coming off that restart to try to maybe make a run there on Bounty if you got that chance?
Yeah, I mean, I would have just had to try to really send it down in the bottom lane and use everything I had to get around him, but basically, I mean, it's whoever's out front is gonna you know, have the best chance of winning the race. So obviously I was ahead of him for the first 30 laps, and he just could not get around me, and it was more than likely going to be the same thing. But yeah, just how these cars and track works together. It's all about track position. So and there's not really, you know, there's no room to like take 2 tires either with the way the pit stops take. So I don't know. It was fun for a while, but yeah, I don't know. We'll just try to rebound for next week at the Rover.
For sure there. All right, well, Malcolm, we'll let you go here. We got a caution flowing on the track here. We do appreciate your time today here, my good sir.
Yeah, take care, man. Thanks again.
Yes, sir. Malcolm Burnaby, ladies and gentlemen, having a quick little chat with us as we just had a massive situation there. Didn't want to try to interrupt him, but Gabe Chavez getting right reared and taken for a ride there off the corner there, and unfortunately taken out. Have to take a look and see what exactly transpired there. The last question I was going to ask Malcolm was, you know, again, for the race fans out there, what they had any final words for them or something like that. But I'll give credit where credit's due to Malcolm. Took that like a champ and understood the situation. You know, good on him for at least keeping it clean cut and about that. Yeah, you see right here, it looked like Wilson was close tight there with the number 12, and Chavez nowhere to go there. Kind of found himself in a very tight predicament. It didn't look like he was just trying to get into him there, but it looked like as Hayes was coming down, kind of threw him in a bit of a bad spot. Here's another look at it. You see Wilson move down. Oh, right there. Yep, right there. Hayes went down. And Chavez, unfortunately, getting the bad end of that one. The 44, again, not to blame, in my opinion. I think, honestly, that's just an unfortunate situation between him and the 12. Now, before anybody thinks I'm going to go haywire on that number 12 here, I'd like to remind you that these cars have this twitchy little design in them and this twitchy little spot that basically makes them a lot harder to control and nail down on the circuit. So, again, when you're trying to steer these things over 200 miles per hour and that little twitch, that little loose part comes in, you don't have a grip of the wheel anymore, let's just say you can't exactly just save the car when you want to or keep it straight. A little strategy, though, right here from the number 44, Wilson. He's going to stay out. Hinchcliffe, Chavez, they stay out as well. Chavez, though, honestly, I wouldn't really, in my opinion, probably stay out in this situation. I probably would have gotten in. Get that damage cleaned up. As Joe Chacon now, got to get at least 1 lap back. See who gets out of pit road quickly. Casado, he was racing. He was trying to beat Bounty out of there, but Kelva. So surpriser here. The number 4 beats him out. I like what I see. I like what we got. All right, let's take a look down here on the chat now, race fans. Number 18, Christopher Cassad joining me here. Christopher, great job so far here, hanging into that top 2, top 3 bracket here on the early going and in the late going now. Having to work in the 6th spot here. I got to ask you, my good sir, how difficult is it going to be to work around some of these guys, knowing some of them are on different strategies here, and you got the old bounty hunter in front of you to deal with?
It's definitely going to be interesting. That first caution we had at like around 65 actually threw my plans in whack. I was going to run long on that and pit with like 25 laps to go, hoping we'd stay green and I'd have fresher tires at the end. But we're all on the same tires mostly now. I think Reese took 2 tires on that last pit stop, so it's going to be interesting.
Going to be interesting indeed. Now, I'll ask you this as well here. Through the long-term game versus long-term loss, how tough is it to really keep the speed up and not have to completely lose all that run on a short-term versus that long-term?
Honestly, it's just about how much you push early or whatnot. So like that first stint or second stint, I forget which right now. I ended up pushing it way too hard, and by the time we pit, my right front was at 15% left. But all the other runs I've been like in the 40, 50 range.
For sure there. All right. Well, Christopher, we do appreciate you taking a little quick time to chat with us here. We'll ask this real quick. Where you're at right now, do you prefer to be on that bottom or the outside lane on this restart? Just one last question there.
I prefer the outside because I can, I'll go through turn 4, turn 1 in 4th gear, and I get a good really exit on the restarts. But when I'm on the inside, I'm not able to have it all the way down to the ground like I want to.
All right. Well, right on, man. We do appreciate you having a quick little chat with us here. Good luck on this restart here.
Thank you, thank you. It's going to be interesting because P1 stayed out, I think.
Yes. P1 and P2 both stayed out, and I'm not trying to spoil nothing for Bounty, but there is some damage on that 14, so he's probably going to have to work around him a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I can see the damage. He'll probably get a good jump and get on the outside, maybe make it 3 wide going in turn 1.
All right, right on. Well, nevertheless, Christopher, appreciate your time down there.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, well, let's get it back in there before this thing goes back green, because this could get exciting here, folks. Down off that front straightaway here. Watch that inside and the outside lane, because it could shoot for some gaps. Damage on the 14. Will he be able to hold off some hard runners? And that bottom lane, can Hinchcliffe throw a curveball at the drivers? We're about to find out as the green's back on now. Bounty wasted no time. He went to the bottom and got ahead there of that 14. Hinchcliffe and Kelva working off the field and through the gaps here. Now Cassad mixing it up between 3 wide down on the outside. Everybody now trying to get into position and get into their own lanes. They don't want nothing to do with problems down there, but it's Kelva who has the lead. Will Bounty be able to hold him off? Or will Cassad throw this one into disarray? Look at him on the inside. Oh, mama, they're almost 3 wide deep off the lane. Kelva realizes he's in trouble. Bounty right now trying to get Kelva in a different position. Cassad going to the extreme bottom. No, that's no man's land. Oh! Woo-hoo-hoo! How did Kelva save that one is beyond me, but Bounty had to back off. Cassad to the race lead. That was about as daring as they come with 15 laps to go. Now can he hold off the Bounty Hunter? Bounty has just been laying in wait all day long, and now he's going to get another chance at him down to the bottom. Cassad going to try and block him, trying to stop the run. Oh, Doctor! Got to steal that line as usual from old Jerry Van Sickle. We've got ourselves a hard charger runner to the gun. Bounty, though, finally getting a runoff. Got the speed he wanted. Pushes ahead of Cassad. Oh, I wonder if Cassad just overdid it too early and maybe pushed in too much momentum. He needs to get full Meta Militia right now with this motionless militia machine. But at the moment, he's struggling at Kelva right now, trying to make a pass on him. I think this one might be done and over with for him. That was some of the hardest racing, though, you'll see in a next-gen car right out of the gate. And the crazy thing is, it wasn't off a complete restart. It was about 2 laps in before things got hectic. Chavez right now here into pit road here on the number 14, getting damage fixed up. He knows he couldn't get any further with it. I don't blame him for trying to make that run, trying to make those moves here. But that cost him dearly. 13 laps left, and Bounty right now is putting time in his gap. It's time to take a look at the time delta sheets presented in part by the Dead Man's hit list. And right now, honestly, this Dead Man is on somebody's hit list, because at the moment, the Bounty Hunter has got a whole list of them he's putting back on his resume for those he's taking out tonight. What on earth must be going through the mind of Cassad right now, realizing the gap is shrinking, time is expiring. He knows he had to do everything he could out of the gate. He knows he had to do what he had to try to put Bounty behind him immediately. I hate to say it, but the only way to stop Bounty now is a caution. And someone to take the tires and take fuel where he doesn't have it. That might be their only shot. I'm not trying to say that Bounty is going to absolutely run away with this one, but honestly, you've got to basically throw an anchor on that back end of that driver. Everybody right now doing what they can, and Nicholas Shriver, give him credit where credit's due. The Fireball Whiskey 17, beautiful speed coming through the distance and finally finding some run. He's full send, full charge ahead. He's not out of this one yet. But can he dial in enough time and dial in enough of the runs on the bottom lane? That outside groove still has a lot of merit. It's hard to make a pass off the exit, considering that they get a big run coming on those straights. Kelva, Shriver, Jasperson, and Hinchcliffe. They are the battle from mid-pack madness to top 5 Shinedowns. Yeah, I'm still working on it. And Shriver there getting some work down his end. He made a big jump there, got around Jasperson, and this time he finally gets around Kelva. Does Shriver have something here? Does he have something? We got to go take a look now at the time delta sheets again. We got to figure this out. Looks like no, not the case yet. Again, that sea of red is where Bounty is hoping for. He's keeping a good distance. I thought maybe Shriver had some speed to catch him, and maybe Cassad too, but that might not be the case. I know Shriver's definitely got something here on Cassad, though. Christopher got to be careful. See what the time delta sheet looks like. Oh yeah, big ground there. 1/10 of a second. That's a lot of ground in coverage. Oh man, oh man, oh man. What will be coming amongst these drivers with 8 laps to go? Mike says, feel like the Bounty Hunter is locked in. I put 300,000 on him on Kalsi. Oh boy. Malcolm joined the comment section here. He said, GG, Sean. Yeah, it's over if this stays green. I don't know. I don't know, Malcolm. If it doesn't stay green, though, I've got my eye on that 17 right now. He's got something, but does he have enough? He doesn't have time, though. But if he makes time, does he have anything left? Cassad trying to throw the block. Not going to work for Sean. And not definitely going to work for Nicholas, I meant to say. Nicholas, look at him swinging for the fences. Beautiful side job on turn number 4. He threw a haymaker, and like Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That Fireball Whiskey will sting like no one else can see. Oh, look at him just ignite the whiskey again. Look at the fire burning on that 17. He's just drilling this thing out of the ground. Oh, my word, does he... Look at this battle for second. You would have thought they're battling for the race lead, but they're not. 3 wide, Kelva. Look out down there. Oh, mama. Kelva, what happened to the 4? He lost a lot of ground there coming on turn number 3, and then through 4 and completely lost the positions. It's a triple whammy for the 4 machine. Shriver now finally in the battle and in the zone, but does he have anything left for Bounty? The old bounty hunter is not going to give him anything, but he certainly is losing ground. The time delta sheets show Bounty is slowing up, but it's not because of lack of speed. It's because the tires can't hold on what Shriver's got for him. Maybe not so much there. Looked like he got a little bit of a run out there, pushing further along. Shriver, at this point, if I'm just him, focus on gaining, keep the position up. Just keep yourself in place. Hold down the second spot. Sometimes in life, racing for that second spot is just as hard as it is to race for that first spot. The dirty air of Bounty right now is coming into full effect as Nicholas seems to be slowing up a bit, but the rest of the field can't catch him either. Hinchcliffe moving into the top 5 as Kelva. Looking to throw another long dart down to the inside. Here comes Kelva. Hinchcliffe trying to keep that 4 at bay. Oh, God, that was close. Kelva and Hinchcliffe almost, man, just taking control of each other and knocking each other out of the wind. That was close, though. Oh, here comes Hayes now. Where'd he come from? Hayes just basically came from each direction and said, hey, I'm still in this one too, boys. Kelva wasn't expecting that one. Position is king right now, and top spots are up for grabs. Green flag flying high in the air this time on by for the number 34 of the Bounty Hunter, Sean Bounty. He'll lead us down with 2 to go. Does anyone have anything left to try to make final passes, to make final runs? That's going to be the name of the position right now. Bounty just needs to get to the white flag. Does not want to see anything but the white flag. If he sees the white flag, he's okay. He'll finish this race no matter what at that point. Gassad and Jasperson fronting this one along, but it is the Bounty Hunter off turn number 3 into 4 with a white flag high in the sky this time on by. Presented in part by Lightning Graps. This is the white flag lap. Nicholas Shriver, give him credit where credit's due. The Fireball Whiskey 17. What a performance there on this last stint. He went from all the way back of the outhouse and traveled so close to the White House. He went and charged up, creating himself a spectacle in itself. Jasperson and Cassad will duke it out one last time, but off turn number 3 and coming for home on turn number 4. This man could say he will not be denied. The streak will stay alive. Sean Bounty's going to victory lane in Michigan. Nicholas Shriver going to go second. Third's going to go to Cassad. Fourth to Jasperson. Fifth to Hinchcliffe. Man, what a performance. What a night. What an awesome night of racing right here. In this morning brew of speed and power today. Every single one of these drivers today gave it their heart, their soul, and their shot at it. But this man would not be denied as the streak now has come alive. All right, race fans, let's take a look now at the final sheets. Your race results are in here, presented in part by the Dead Man's Hit List. The final results in. The number 34, Sean the Bounty Hunter Bounty, getting it done again. Nicholas Shriver, though, the talk of the town on that final stint. Christopher Cassad, what a run and move making he did. They're trying to keep Bounty in check. Did not quite get it in time. Jasperson, honestly, I really can't say much about him. He was just pure consistent. He stayed in control and stayed in the top 5 all day and did what he needed to. But Ryan Hinchcliffe, the man started from 13th. Guess what? Hard Charger Award recipient tonight. He gets 8 spots up and goes 5th. Reese Kelva, he threw everything he had at everyone. It didn't quite plan out. Joshua Hayes, pretty much neutral as much as Alex Wilson was. But when both drivers got into tangles, they seemed to find each other enough tonight. But today, they were able to hold on and keep things under control. Joe Chacon, the 22, man, he had a rough day, but managed to fight his way into 9th. And Aaron Geheb, despite qualifying dead last, he goes top 5. The rest of your finishers on your screen. When we come back, we chat with the winners.
Is your day not going so well? Might as well just put on them headphones. Let's race.
Hands on my steering wheel, drivers looking for the steal. Everyone watching from the grandstands. Nobody wants to miss this chance. Hitting over 8 whoppers and RPMs. Cars feeling like it's going to spin. Not gonna let these tires slip out under me because I'm coming up past the top 3.
Whoa.
You can't stop but won't stay dead, 'cause there's a dead man racing right up ahead.
Welcome back live here, race fans, here at Michigan International Speedway right now as we now take it down to victory lane here as he parks it inside the infield here. Race fans, the number 34, the Bounty Hunter, Sean Bounty, getting it done here today. And Bounty, congratulations on getting a win once more, and now beginning what we're going to call the streak, if you will, as you have a lot more money on that bounty for you and your team here today.
Yeah, I don't know. I just cruising around the track, kind of the same mentality as I had last week, and I think Malcolm kind of had the same mentality he had, which was try to dominate the lead, the outside, and I could see a little bit of urgency, not much. I just back up the corners and just kind of let it happen. And I really hoped we'd get a green flag stop because that's kind of the one place where I kind of anticipate waiting for. I do pretty good on pit stops getting in and out. I think he might have had an issue. I don't know what it was, but 3 seconds is a big gap. And yeah, we just kind of cruised it from there until we got the cautions, and just hope we could survive the chaos on the restarts. And yeah, just brought it home. Nice clean day.
You brought it home on a nice clean day indeed. Bounty, I got to ask you, Malcolm earlier on did say that if you could get that dirty airflow around the outside and keep these drivers in check, that was the way to win it. Was that basically like the go-to move, considering that at the end, Cassad and even Nicholas Shriver and a few others were basically just trying to gun for you and try to get that last stint off you?
I think so. I knew if I never put the hammer down when I was side by side with Malcolm. It was just a matter of momentum and just running my line. And I think sometimes he would run a little too high, and then we'd close the gap and kind of meet in the middle. Neither line had an advantage, but if I really wanted to go for the lead, I would have had to find a way to go to his outside. Because yeah, if you're clean and you're good, getting back on the throttle on exit without getting tight, then yeah, going to the outside is the only way to go. So my only content was just wait for the green flag pit cycle and then see if we can just assume the lead from there and just hold it from there if we could. Unfortunately, it kind of didn't fully work out. Like, had the lead, and then unfortunately he had a bad break. I don't know if he was realizing the same boat that I was in, where if he got stuck behind me, he might not have got it back either, and maybe pushed a little too hard trying to close that gap and just got tight and put it in the wall. It's unfortunate. I think we were going to have a really good race there.
Really good race indeed, but hey, nevertheless, Sean, you are walking away with yet another bounty claimed and a streak now in full pursuit. Who are we thinking about and thinking for this one?
Just everybody that's putting this show on. You know, definitely gotta put it to you. It must be nice not to sit there for a million caution laps or have a nice clean streak running this morning, and everybody at Citadel for just kind of building a league. We've slowly eaten away at getting more drivers interested, so hopefully we're going to fill a field here in the next season.
I'd certainly say right now this season's looking pretty good and getting a lot more in is certainly a show of things to come. But nevertheless, here today, Sean, congratulations getting it done here for this race win.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the bounty hunter, Sean Bounty, once more back in victory lane. Well, this one's going to be a very fun little conversation to have. He joins me now here as your second place finisher here today, race fans. The driver, number 17, Fireball Whiskey Machine, Nicholas Shriver, and Nicholas. Whoa, my word, good sir. Where did you literally turn the fires of the HE double hockey sticks on and go straight to these guys with some Oh Sweet Honey Iced Tea moments?
Same thing I've been doing for the past 3 races. I'll hang out, then wait to the very end and try and make moves.
Well, you certainly made some moves there. Let me ask you this real quick. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but like the fact is, that last stint, you were in about, what, it was 6 or 7 or somewhere around there. You literally went full send, full charge, took like 3 or 4 of them within 2 or 3 laps. The race leaders battle hard. Next thing we know, we're seeing you start to literally put everyone that was second on 5th back behind you and have a shot there to get to Bounty if you were going to get to him. But if at the end of the day, do you think if that caution did come out and he ended up having to work right beside you there, do you think that this 17 was going to maybe have a shot to take that 34 down?
I think we would have had a good race if we would have got another caution, at least to finish it out.
All right, well, sure there. Well, nevertheless, here, Nicholas, at the end of the day, you are walking away today second place. I will ask you, as always, who are we thinking?
Just everybody in the league and our broadcasters.
For sure there. All right, well, Nicholas, appreciate you having us on board and appreciate you coming on by. Congratulations. Getting it done for second tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, driver, the number 17, Nicholas Shriver, joining me. All right, long last, we talked with the top 3 finisher here, and the guy that we talked to just a little while ago before he went full send. This is the number 18 of Christopher Cassad, and Cassad, my word, good sir, you had quite a time around here tonight before this thing's got crazy there.
Yeah, you can definitely say I did full send that. You know, that was a very interesting and fun race. I thought I had something for Bundy there at the end, but I cooked my tires.
So what exactly went transpired there? Because you said you cooked the tires, but from our angle, it looked like you had something for him, and then he just kind of outsmarted you, like getting that dirty air back under you. Was that another big root of all evil there that kind of caught you off guard?
Yeah, dirty air definitely was something that played a part in that. And then, yeah, cooking the tires. I was trying to go into the turns a lot faster than probably should have, and trying to run a super low line, especially when Reese was up front and Bundy was there. I tried dropping down too low in one of the turns, trying to take both of them at the same time, and that's I was the one that made it 3 wide.
You certainly were, but hey, at the end of the day, it still got you in a top 5, and even better, a bronze medal finish for 3rd place today. Christopher, I'll ask you as always, who are we thanking today?
Oh, well, of course, always thanking Nick for running the league, and everybody else. We've had a really good race. Everyone had a great time. Unfortunate what happened to Malcolm, but everyone did really good. Lots of green flag racing. Keeping it clean.
For sure there. All right. Well, Christopher, been a pleasure to have you back on board here and talk with you so soon. Congratulations getting it done for 3rd place today.
Thank you. Thank you. You have a good one, sir.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, driver of the number 18 today, Christopher Cassad. Well, that race, fans, is all but going to do it And what a race it was. I hope you enjoyed the show. Big thank you to Lightning Raps, Deadman Headless, and of course to Citadel Next Gens for having us even come on board. Until the green flag flies next time here on the show, race fans, stay safe, take care of yourselves out there. Have a good night.